Hello lovelies, you are welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are stopping here for the first time, you are highly welcome. And to my returning subscribers, you are welcome back once again. In today's video, I'll be telling you all you need to know about the proof of funds for international students planning to study in Switzerland. A lot of prospective international students get it wrong when it comes to proof of funds, and this unfortunately has led to a lot of students' visa being refused. So in today's video, I'll be explaining to you how you can show your proof of funds, how much funds you are expected to show, how long the funds should be in your account prior to the visa application. So I will encourage you to stick around to the end of this video, because I will be unveiling to you an alternative method towards the end of this video, an alternative method of going about the proof of funds in Switzerland schools. If the sum of money required is a challenge for you and you cannot figure out how you can raise this huge amount of money required, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's assume that you have already accepted to study in a particular higher institution and you have the proof of acceptance from the educational institution concerned. Well done. That is step number one, and I think it's also one of the simplest of the process. The next step is to check if you would need to apply for a student visa or not. As an international student who is not from any of the European Union countries, for those of you who are a little bit confused about the countries that form part of this arrangement, I will be dropping below in the description box the countries that are in the European Union, which is usually called EU for short. And then if your country is not included in the list, it implies that before you are allowed into Switzerland, you will need a visa. And among the requirements for the student visa is this famous proof of fund document. So what is the proof of fund document all about? And how can you show your proof of funds? As a prospective student, when submitting your visa application, you are expected to present a financial proof which is meant to serve as a guarantee that you can afford the living expenses and the cost of study in that country you are applying to. Guys, if you are getting value from this video, please don't forget to like the video so that it can reach more viewers. So, as I was saying, the Swiss authority would want to know if you have enough funds to live and study in the country or through your program. This is to prevent a situation whereby the government will have to take up your responsibilities if you are finding it difficult to cope in the country financially. So how can you show your proof of funds? You can show your proof of funds through different sources. Number one, you can show your proof of funds in the form of the cash that you have in the bank. That is in the form of savings account or current account, or in your parents' name if you are a minor. You should note here that if you are an adult, you cannot show a bank statement of an account that is held by your parents or a family member, except it is a joint account between you and the person. And in that case, both of your names should be mentioned as account holders. The number two is to show your proof of fund in the form of student loan. Then number three is in the form of the financial sponsorship from a company or an organization. Number four, you can show your proof of funds in the form of scholarship from the government of your country. And number five, it can be in the form of a guarantee from a person who is residing inside Switzerland. This person could be a Swiss citizen or a foreigner who has a B or C resident permit, and this person would voluntarily sign a consent form pledging to cover your living expenses for the period of your studies. So if in your case you are presenting a statement of your account, you will need to apply to your bank or any other financial institution holding your money and ask for a letter from them. This letter must have the bank's official letterhead and must be signed. It should include your name, details of your account, when it was opened, and the signature of the authorized bank. The banks usually know what this document is all about, so you don't need to give a description of what should be in the content of this document. Now, how much funds do you need to show? Your tuition fee is usually not included in the amount that you are required to show in your proof of funds, because you are expected to have paid your fees before you submit your application, more especially in the public universities, because the fees are usually not so high, about an average of 900 Swiss francs per section. And again, if your program is less than 1 year, you'll be required to have the entire tuition fee paid as well. But if your university is a private one and you are not on scholarship, you can make an arrangement of payment with the school if you cannot afford the entire fees at once. All you need to do is to make sure you pay the initial deposit, because in the private university, the tuition fees are quite high, usually about 24 to 36,000 Swiss francs per year. And so let's assume that you have already paid all that tuition fee to the university at this point. It will be indicated on your confirmation letter or of acceptance of studies, which is known as CAS, and you will not be required to show further proof of funds for tuition fee when you apply for the visa. But if you have not settled all your tuition fee, then the remaining fees will have to be added to the total sum of money you are expected to show as proof of funds. I hope that is clear. Apart from the tuition fee and accommodation fee, you will need to show enough money to support yourself while you are living in Switzerland. You must prove to the Swiss authorities that you'll be able to provide for yourself for the entire duration of your stay in the country. For students, the cost of living in Switzerland is estimated to be about 30 Swiss francs per day. That means you must have at least 30 Swiss francs for every day you live in Switzerland as a student. Therefore, for a year, you will need to show at least 21,000 Swiss francs, which is about $21,416. The fact is that the immigration office in Switzerland will confirm at the beginning of your study and at the start of every extension of your visa if you have this amount of money in one of the banks in Switzerland. I will put down in the description box below the list of banks accepted by the Swiss authorities that you can use for your proof of funds. These banks are called the FEMA approved bank. I know this figure is on the high side for most parents and intending students, but with the help of student loans and assistance from family members and relatives, you may achieve this goal. However, if you are one of those privileged enough to be given a scholarship, this amount has to be specified in the scholarship decision. At the beginning of this video, I promised to disclose an alternative way to go about the proof of fund issue. That is by a guarantee declaration. What this means is that if you have a family member or close friend in Switzerland who can vouch for you and guarantee to cover your living expenses up to 21,000 Swiss francs and any expenses you may incur in the case of illness or accidents, your return trip back to your country, this can replace your proof of fund document. So in this way, you may not need to have sufficient funds in your account. And if you don't even have the money in the account, that will not pose any problem. Then the immigration office in Switzerland will send the declaration of commitment form. This is how the form looks like. And your guarantor will fill it and sign. For those of you that will be showing the money in your account as a source of proof of fund, you may want to know for how long this money is expected to be in your account. Any money you want to use for your living expenses should be held for a period of not less than 6 months in the bank before your visa application up until the start of your program. During this period, this money should not drop below the required amount, not even for a day, or else you will not meet the home office requirement and your visa may be refused. And talking about visa refusal, I will encourage you to watch this video on how to have a successful visa application, and I will see you over there. Love from Hilaric's World.